Power is something all people yearn for. It's in our nature. We instinctively claw at the next opportunity for an increase in power whenever said opportunity presents itself. And I mean, it makes sense. With more power comes more everything. More resources, more control, more is simply better. In modern terms of the workplace, getting more power can be seen as getting a promotion to a higher position in the company, which could get you more money, more for yourself to spend on what you like, more for you to support your family with. More is simply better. In the medieval terms of Shakespeare's tragic play Macbeth, getting more power requires a bit more drastic of measures, such as assassinating the king and taking his throne, which could result in riches beyond belief, a kingdom at your command, and certainly nothing could go wrong, right? I mean, more is always better. Well, Shakespeare's play illustrates the dubious rise and fated downfall of the title character, the late King Macbeth, and along the way comments on the physical and psychological turmoil of those who will do anything for just a little more power. I'm Brandon Helm, and this is Stormside. The play begins with Macbeth already in a position of power, as a Scottish general under the command of the king, and almost immediately foreshadows his rise to power, as three witches prophesize his ascent to the throne. They claim he will first be Thane of Cawdor, basically a promotion in the ranks of Scottish nobility, and eventually rule all of Scotland as its king. He is wary of these three weird sisters at first, but their words entice him, planting seeds of desire in his mind as he fantasizes about having an entire nation under his liege. These fantasies begin to manifest themselves when Macbeth returns to report to the king and is informed that, due to the previous Thane betraying the crown, Macbeth himself is to be promoted to the title of Thane of Cawdor, exactly as the witches claimed. This turn of events gives Macbeth the confidence that perhaps the other part of the prophecy was true as well, and when he explains the encounter with the witches to his wife, Lady Macbeth, she, being the completely power-hungry character that Shakespeare had written her to be, suggests that they take the prophecy into their own hands and usurp the king directly. The two plan to invite the king over and murder him in his sleep, and on the night of the assassination, Macbeth, moments away from committing manslaughter, delivers one of the most famous soliloquies in the whole play, starting with the line, "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" What follows is a turning point in the play for Macbeth, as the desire for more overcomes his morality and corrupts him to the point of forcing his hand to take the life of the person he swore to protect. This flaw is used by Shakespeare to comment on society as he views those in power, or at least those willing to do anything in the pursuit of it, as corrupt, a theme he alludes to throughout this play and in his others. Macbeth slowly devolves into a tyrant in subsequent acts, killing more innocents out of paranoia that they will conspire to take his throne, or out of fear that they will rally other nations against him. Shakespeare uses many of these scenes with Macbeth as king to highlight how, gradually, power twists the mind to crave more and more, how enough is never enough once someone gets a taste. Yet through all the bloodshed, Macbeth carries on living in his illustrious castle, emboldened by the witches further prophesying that he will remain king until the very forest below his castle rises up to come dethrone him, and that he need not fear any man born of a woman, a fate that Macbeth laughs at and takes as word of his eternal rule. Enter Shakespeare's second major theme in this play, the cruel, self-injurious, double-sided blade of hubris. Macbeth is arrogant to the very end. As the world begins to realize that Scotland has fallen into the hands of a tyrant and mounts a force of troops to descend upon Macbeth's castle, he laments what has transpired, but still remains confident, even cocky, of his success, despite his regressed mental and physical health. He knew the witches had been nothing but correct before, and so he readied himself for battle with the notion that he was invincible. but as he sees trees and bushes crest over the hill leading to his castle, he begins to worry, as his forest had indeed risen to come dethrone him, even if it was just soldiers carrying the leaves for cover. No matter, he thinks as he takes up his sword to battle the leader of the rebellion, Macduff, no man born of a woman could harm him. Surely nothing could go wrong with blind, hubristic confidence. Yet something did go wrong. Macduff, in a surprise twist, was not born of a woman, due to him not physically being born out of his mother's womb. She had to undergo a C-section. With this fact revealed to Macbeth, he realizes his greed and false confidence were his ultimate undoing, and is beheaded by Macduff. The play concludes with a new king being crowned, and hopefully a lesson learned by the audience. Overall, Macbeth is an insightful look into the dynamics of power we have in society, and how they influence our thoughts and actions. The prospect of becoming king literally pushed a man to murder, and then continue murdering to maintain that power. The ignorant pompousness one can be infected with once they have power, though, is just as volatile as the desire to receive it, and just as dangerous. That's all I have for now. As always, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe out there. I'm Brandon Helm, and this was Stormside.